In Pets Practice this week, Flick and Julija are making a wish. Nigel removes a snake from a horse paddock, while Lisa visits the Kepala pet resort, and Dr. Kevin investigates why Axel the cat is so sick.
I'm glad you've tuned in again for Flick's Tricks. I'm Julija and this is my blue and white border collie Flick. Now Flick knows a lot of tricks. She puts smiles on the faces of those watching, but this week's trick is a real sweet one and always grabs the hearts of the audience and makes the crowd go, "Aww." We call it Make a Wish. Now you grab a stash of treats, call your dog to you and follow our steps to see if you can train your dog to make a wish. My criteria for this skill are for the dog to place front paws on my forearm and then to poke her head down through the gap. Once trained, I'd expect her to hold it until she gets her release word to end the exercise. Most dogs can perform this skill from puppies right through to older adult dogs, but it's always best to avoid it with dogs that may have hip or back issues.
Animal Rescue, Nigel speaking.
Animal Rescue, Nigel speaking.
Animal Rescue, Nigel speaking. You may think that I'm here to do a horse rescue. Well, actually I am in a way, because there's been a snake that's been sighted in this paddock about half an hour ago. We believe it's underneath one of these pieces of tin here. So the first thing I like to do is to make sure that the animals are going to be nice and safe. So we're just moving this little fella out of the paddock and we'll remove everybody else and we'll go and capture this snake, eh? Now I believe the snake has been seen in this area and I can understand why. Just have a look at this. We've got all these poles on the ground. We've got this low vegetation that's sitting right on the ground. Great habitat for rats and mice and for the snakes to come along, especially this tin. They can hide underneath this tin, soak up the warmth of the sun when it's sun shining on it. So what we've got to do now is find where he is without him slithering away and disappearing on us. So, oh, here we go, look at this. We've got an apple here that's been chewed up. I can see the bite marks of, looks like probably ringtail possums, maybe rats, have been nibbling away at that apple there. So, which means that they've left their smell and their odour around this area and the snakes will come in, searching for that odour, trying to find a good feed, good bit of dinner. Well, I think the first place we're going to look is underneath this tin here. It's a bit like a lucky dip when you're searching for snakes. You just never know where it's going to be. Oh, we've got lots and lots of crickets underneath there and a few slugs, but he's not in this area here. Now, when I do this work, I always make sure that you've got strong leather boots on, nice long pants, because if the snake came out and actually went to bite me, he would get my clothing and not my skin, so it protects me and keeps us safe. I can see holes and gaps where like mice have been going in underneath and burying, so this would be a good area that the snake would be. No, we've got a lizard, a couple of lizards, more crickets. I can't see anything in here.
This is Axel. Axel's just presented here to Vets on Parker because the owners have noticed him straining to go to the toilet. He's been dribbling urine and walking in and out the cat door all night. On physical exam, Axel has a bladder the size of a grapefruit, much larger than it should be, and he's actually unable to completely empty his bladder. Axel's been diagnosed with a blocked bladder or feline lower urinary tract disease, and in a male cat this is a life-threatening medical emergency. I've already given him some pain relief to manage his discomfort, but what we're going to need to do today is he's going to need to have an intravenous anaesthetic and we're going to need to catheterise his bladder and relieve that pressure. We need to check his kidneys and we need to try and figure out why this has happened. So it's going to be a big day for Axel. Owners are anxiously awaiting my call to let them know how he's gone. So we'll get things started and get Axel better as soon as we can. Okay, I've got Axel here on the table now, and what we're about to do is give him a light IV anaesthetic. We're going to place an intravenous catheter into one of his front legs. Once he's asleep, what we're going to do is pop an ultrasound on his bladder and assess the integrity, see if there are any stones present, and then we're going to obtain a sterile urine sample directly from his bladder via a needle. Now, once Axel is asleep, we're going to determine whether or not we actually do need to place a urinary catheter, just dependent on if I'm able to express his bladder and able to see if he urinates. So, Axel, you're about to go to sleep for a few minutes. So, Sarah, you're able to hold up his leg for me. Good boy. He's a lot more relaxed now. He's had the pain relief on board. Good boy. Good man. Perfect. Let's take that in. He's a lot more relaxed, isn't he? Okay, thanks, Sarah. Excellent. So just a bit of flush. Now, the good news for Axel is that we've just got his blood results back, and his kidney enzymes are actually normal, which means his owners picked up this condition very early, and the waste products from his urine have yet to build up inside his bloodstream. It is when that does happen that this becomes an incredibly serious problem. Those waste products build up inside their bloodstream, they become incredibly ill, and they can actually go into kidney failure. So all good news so far for Axel, but we'll see what's going on once he's had a light anaesthetic. Good boy. There's his bladder there, the large black. There's a lot of sediment in there. Looks like a snowball. There's some shadowing through here as well. So there's definitely what appears to be quite a bit of sediment in his bladder, and hopefully we can successfully get a urine sample. We've just got some urine directly from his bladder. That's called a cystocentesis, and now because that's sterile, we're able to send that to an external laboratory, and they're going to be able to tell us whether or not he's got any bacterial infection, exactly what sort of crystals are present, if there are any other sorts of problems. So we'll pop that directly in another sterile jar, and that's going to help us manage his case successfully going forward.
Animal Rescue, Nigel speaking.
Well, we've gone through all the other bits of tin, so we're going to find this snake today. He's going to have to be underneath here. So, fingers crossed. Ah, bingo! There he is. Well, that's going to make the owner of the property happy. So, matey, I can't hold this up and pin you, so I'm going to have to grab you with the tongs. Come on, matey. You can see how active he is. It's a nice warm day today. Come on, we'll just pull you out slowly. That's it, gotcha. Okay. Now they like to sort of get into cover and hide, so we just pop him there, give him a bit of a tap, and he should slide straight into the bag for me. Come on, in you go. There you go. Well, I've just caught the little snake, and I don't recommend anybody to do what I'm doing at the moment. I've been handling snakes for 30 years now. Now, this little guy is a copperhead snake, and he is the most common snake that I capture throughout the suburbs of Melbourne. Now, he is in the top 10 deadliest in the world, but there's never been a recorded death from a copperhead bite. Now, that is because they save their venom for the animal that they're trying to kill and eat. So, little fella, what do you think? Now that we've got you nice and safe, we're going to take you away from this horse paddock and keep the horses safe. Well, we've just found a suitable little area to release a snake. We've got a little dam just behind us where there's frogs and lizards. There's a pile of wood, so there's going to be an abundance of food around for this guy. So we'll just let him go. There he is. Come on, little fella, take off. You can see how quick they move. Off you go. You're now free, matey. It's good to see these guys being released and not killed. It is illegal to kill any native snake in Australia.
Solar heated pool, check. Sand underfoot, check. Plenty of open space for exploring and then a massage at the end of it all. Sounds like a pretty good holiday, doesn't it? But don't get too far ahead of yourselves because this resort, it's not for you. That's right, Kepala Pet Resort is all about your much loved animals.
Hi Lisa, how you going?
Good, thank you for having us
Welcome
today.
to Kepala, yes.
Thank you. So Dale's going to show us around Kepala Pet Resort today, but before we get in there, can you tell us about the inspiration behind the place? Because it's not your average boarding kennel.
Sure. Well, it's a family business. We started many years ago and we wanted to provide a home away from home for people's pets. So we've got different facilities, different activities available for the people and their pets, and it ranges from just standard accommodation with luxury suites for cats and dogs, and TVs and other activities such as swimming pools and all that sort of thing.
Great, perfect. And how many dogs, or animals I should say, do you have here on your average day? How many can you have?
Well, we average anywhere from about 80 to 200. 200 when we're very busy, so
wow.
It's a big responsibility looking at all those, after all those individual
My
pets,
goodness.
So yes.
And who gets up in the middle of the night to tell the dogs to shut up?
Generally, it's my job.
Oh, God. What started out as a pet motel in the 1970s has now expanded into a 5-star luxury resort with treatments and facilities that rival those available to you and I. Well, isn't this a bit of luxury? Being hand-fed in your own private room with a flat screen TV. Hey, cushion beds to bunker down on. That is one pampered little pooch. Here you go. Here you go, Millie. Kepala also cater for our feline companions with a large indoor cattery and everything they need to feel right at home. I wonder if they count them at the end of the day. If you thought those rooms were pretty swish, wait till you see the country club. Each animal here is involved in daily exercise, which could involve swimming, agility and running on sand. For sore muscles, a daily massage can be requested. Today, the Chow Chow Lovers group have hired out the country club for their social event. Al, I have not seen so many of the same dog in the one place at the one time before. What are you guys doing today?
We're just hanging out, we're just socialising. This is one of the biggest events we've had so far. We started up in March last year, so it's taking off slowly. But today I think we've got 22 chows already.
Chows?
Yeah, chow chows.
What kind of breed is that? Where are they from?
They were Mongolian Chinese. They worked with their families to haul, hunt and basically guard. They're very good warning dogs, and that's what they want these days too. Those traits are still in them, so they still want to be with their families.
Yeah.
They want to look after their families, they want to guard their family. Yeah.
Well, I've never seen a chow before, and if I have, it's been in a photo because I thought that they were tiny little fluffy balls that you could pick up in your hands, but
most people
huge.
do, yeah. They think chow chow, they think cute, like little chihuahuas
yes.
or something, and even when you see photos of them in books, they look quite fluffy and like
Right.
soft toys. So when people actually get to feel how chunky and strong these dogs are, they're quite surprised. It's
Right.
quite a challenge to work a chow.
Well, I have had a great time over here exploring the country club. I'm going to go and join the gathering, but stay with us because later in the episode we're heading inside for some swimming lessons.
I'd like to welcome my rookie dogs and their owners today. We've got Paul with Hercules and Diana with Buddha. To start off with the Make-A-Wish trick, we're going to grab a few treats in our hand. And a few segments ago on Flick's Tricks, we trained the paws on exercise. We're going to use the paws on, but the surface, instead of being a park bench or something, is going to be your forearm. Front paws up on your forearm. Once the paws are up on the forearm, you then can use the treat and push down to your wrist and see if they can lower their nose down. Now with Hercules, you might like to do it standing up because he is quite a large dog, able to do that quite easily. But he might find it more comfortable to do it while he's sitting. You can see Flick's sprung up on her back legs here as well. So once they've got their paws on, we use the treat and lower it down over your arm, down low, so they get the idea of lowering their nose down here. Once the dog is quite comfortable and happy in lowering their nose down, earning a treat each time, we can then move the food. Instead of being here, we move it down underneath. You might find that some dogs don't like putting their paws on, or they haven't learnt that trick yet. You can easily scoop them up. Okay, so just lift them off the ground and they're already there. If you've got a dog who also likes to take their paw off your arm, because they might find it easier to peek underneath if that paw comes off, what you can do instead is hold that with your hand. Don't squeeze it tight, okay? You don't want to squeeze that too tight there, but just to encourage that this paw stays on, and the trick is lowering your head underneath the arm. Party, good girl. Once your dog is quite happy to offer this skill to you, you'll find that after a few repetitions, they'll probably automatically drop their head down. Paws on. Once they're starting to offer that behaviour, you can add your cue to it. My cue for Flick is make a wish, and she'll hold it, party, until she gets her release word. How are these guys going?
Getting there.
Slowly.
Go, paws on, out a girl. Make a wish. Paws on. Make a wish. Make a wish. Party, good girl. So now it's time for you to show off with your dog and make your audience go, "Aww, aww, so sweet." We hope you've had fun training your dog this trick. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye.
When I was a teenager, I had 3 dogs and all 3 of them were petrified of water. Now I don't know about yours, but I hear it's a pretty common problem. One of the best things you can do while you're away on holiday is bring your pups here to Kepala Pet Resort and give them deep water training. We're about to find out how it works. Annie, I never thought to take my dogs to swimming lessons. Is it quite a common thing to do?
It's becoming very popular these days. It's recommended by a lot of vets.
Right.
A lot of people do it for recovering dogs from surgery,
Yeah.
weight loss issues,
Yes.
or active dogs that just need to be worn out.
And what kind of benefits do dogs see? Is it increased mobility or greater fitness levels?
Yeah, it tones up muscles,
Yeah.
so we have a greater range of mobility, especially in the healing stages after surgery when there's a lot of muscle wastage. This is low impact in the water, so there's not a lot of stress on the joints. Some dogs you can see it's the penny drop moment where they just all of a sudden realise, oh, this is how it's done, and their fear just subsides like that.
Great.
Other dogs take a lot longer.
Life jackets are designed to give your dogs maximum confidence, especially if they're new to water.
I just like them nice and firm
Yep.
so that I'm able to pick up the handle.
Like a little handbag.
Yeah.
Annie combines a series of commands to program the swimming process to your dog.
Bandit's not allowed off here until I command him to either go forward or free, where he's allowed to step off.
Okay.
But we'll save the free for last. Okay, Bandit, are you ready? Bandit, forward. Good boy.
Come on, Bandit.
Good boy. Bandit, swim. Good boy. That's it. And now you can encourage him to come towards you.
Come on, Bandit. As with humans, it's best to start training your dogs as soon as possible. Annie recommends 2 lessons a week, building from there. And remember, consistency is the key.
Way. Good boy.
Once your dog is confident with strong legs and the correct body position, it's time to remove the life jacket and swim on a lead. And when that gets too easy, well, it's time for some fun. I wasn't quick enough for that one. Peter and his 3 Australian Terriers, Mr Tiddles, Bobby and Toodaloo, have been coming to Kepala Pet Resort every Saturday for the last 3 years. While Toodaloo is confident on a lead alone, the life jackets have been a big help for the boys.
Mr Tiddles has some dodgy legs. He's got a bit of arthritis, so it gives him that confidence to swim.
Yeah.
Bobby is a little bit plump, so it kind of gives him the extra buoyancy so that he gets the laps done.
So he doesn't shoot straight to the bottom?
Very much so, yes. We don't want him going underwater, that one.
And what kind of benefits have you seen for the dogs since you've started bringing them?
Bobby's dropped 3 kilos in weight, so he's done very well. Mr Tiddles, his legs are so much better because he's had 3 leg operations and since coming here, the mobility that he's got now is wonderful. And Toodaloo, well, she's only nearly 2 this year, so she just loves to see other people and show off.
Oh, good. The girls always like to show off, don't they?
Very much so.
Well, we have had a great day here at Kepala Pet Resort. I didn't get to go for a swim, but I did get a lot of exercise, so I dare say we will all sleep well tonight.
Axel has been rushed in to see Dr. Kevin, who has made an early diagnosis, but now wants to do some more tests to clarify his suspicions.
Okay, we've got Axel's urine now, and what we're going to do is just do some simple in-house testing. We're also going to send his urine away for culture at a microbiology lab, and they're going to be able to give us a bit more information, but certainly some patient-side testing is important. And the first one is what we call a dipstick, and this just tells us the amount of blood, the pH levels of his urine, and we're also going to look under the microscope to see whether or not we've got any crystals, which I certainly anticipate we will, given the appearance on the ultrasound. So immediately the dipstick is positive for very large quantities of blood, which is not unexpected given the amount of inflammation present in his urethra and in his bladder. His pH levels are about normal, about 7, and he's got very large quantities of protein, which, given the amount of blood in there, is all considered fairly typical of a cat with feline lower urinary tract disease. The next thing we're going to do is use a refractometer to determine the concentration of his urine. And this can give us a bit better understanding of what his kidney function's like as well. Okay, so that's all really good. He's got nice concentrated urine, so I know his kidneys are working beautifully. But as mentioned before, we will be sending this urine away to an external lab to get more of an understanding. The next thing we're going to do here is spin this urine down into a centrifuge, and that's going to tell me whether or not he does have any crystals that could be the cause of this problem in his urine. So Axel has a condition called feline lower urinary tract disease, which, because he's a male cat, has led to what we thought initially was a very, very life-threatening condition. Now, the good news is that Axel only had a partial obstruction, and we've been able to alleviate the pressure just by giving him a light anaesthetic. The good news for Axel and his owner is that we've been able to determine exactly the cause, which has been the production of struvite crystals in his urine. These crystals act like tiny pieces of glass that are sitting in his bladder, irritating the lining and causing a lot of irritation, inflammation and pain. Unfortunately, in a lot of cats with this condition, we don't determine the exact cause. And a lot of cats have something called idiopathic feline lower urinary tract disease. And we call it idiopathic because we actually don't know the exact cause. Stress is thought to play an important part in this condition, and that's why we see a lot of cats develop urinary tract problems associated with moving home, the arrival of new babies. Any sort of stressful environment can lead to the development of this condition. In those sorts of situations, it can be incredibly frustrating to determine the cause and to treat it successfully. Now, in Axel's situation, what we're going to be able to do is actually change his diet. We're going to be able to put him on a prescription-based diet which will actually dissolve the crystals that are present in his bladder and actually prevent them from returning. So hopefully this will be his one and only time he ever develops this problem. Now, I've already worded up the owner, this can be a frustrating condition to treat, but because we found these crystals, hopefully we can dissolve them and it's smooth sailing for him and his owner.